Hello and welcome to the first, let's say the first opening season for the friendly races in 2024 by Desert Fox Racing. Today we have an awesome challenge. Actually, it's the Asian Challenge with the Motorsports Racing Singapore with the Desert Fox racers. Today we have two races, right? We have a new host today. His name is Ghaith. Of course, you saw him before on the previously live we did on DFR.
Yes.
Ghaith, give us a brief on what we will see today.
So today, this is not a new challenge for us. DFR drivers have been challenging other drivers rather than the MENA region for quite, I think, a year right now. We've been against Netherlands. We've been against UK, yes. And today we're going to be against Singapore. Yeah. So personally, I know a couple of drivers from Singapore since I've been to the World Olympic Series in Singapore, and the drivers are pretty fast. So I think it's going to be a challenge. We do also have one of our fastest drivers from DFR, and here we have the race details for today. So
the
first race, we are on Goodwood Motor Circuit using the Toyota SFR racing concept. Quali will be 5 minutes, and then a 13-lap race. So tire degradation is going to be ×3, and it's dry, cloudless, pleasant afternoon weather. So pretty basic settings, 13 laps. I think this is going to be kind of a sprint race for us. There won't be any strategy or any pit stops. I don't think we're going to see any pit stops today. So we're looking forward to a sprint race, which will be pretty exciting.
Exactly, and today we're on a famous track, the Goodwood Motor Circuit.
Yes.
With the fun-to-drive car, the Toyota SFR. So today we're going to have 5 racers from the Motorsport Singapore and 5 racers from Desert Fox Racing. It's a multi-international race. It's a friendly race again. On the screen you can see the names of the participants in the 2 races. We have Rida, Ahmed, Malik, Muad, Rayyan from DFR, and from Singapore we have Zaim, Yo, Wong, Muhammad bin Saleh, and Muhammad Shardoon. I'm sorry if I misspelled your family name.
But one of the challenges for today.
It's going to be a long event, 2 races. Yes. We're going to see different experiences. We're going to see different challenges. The first one on the Goodwood, it's let's say it's a kind of a short and tight track.
It is, but from previous experience, I've already tried this combo before, and personally for me, and SFR on Goodwood is awesome. Really? It's it's very fun to drive, especially when there's a lot of cars around you.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to drive, fun to race as well. So can't wait to see what happens here.
Exactly, and for the second race on the Interlagos with the Supra, GR Supra concept, we're going to have a different style of racing. We're going to have a totally different race. But for now, let's see if the drivers are ready to start with the practice. There's going to be a 5-minute practice, and then we're going to kick off the Asian Challenge. On the screen, right, we can see the race details for the second race on the Autodrome de Interlagos, the Brazilian track. They're going to be also a 5-minute practice, then a 30-minute race. You can see the tire degradation, ×6.
I believe this one for us is going to be a bit more detailed race with, let's say, strategic race using the GR3 Supra. It's going to be a long one. Of course, Autodromo de Interlagos is a very renowned track, and using also the GR3 Supra, it's going to be fun. It's going to be strategic.
Yes.
It's not going to be as, let's say, fast pace as this one right now for race 1, because it's going to involve a lot of strategies. So I'm looking forward to both, actually. So I think we're gonna start qualifying in 2 minutes. Yes. So the drivers are ready. Qualifying is actually, we're going to start in 1 minute, so looking forward to qualifying. Let's see.
What do you expect as right?
To be honest, I want to see a lot of fights between each driver. I don't want like all the drivers to be in separated packs. I'm hoping to see that there's going to be a fight all the way around the grid. Especially as I said before, this track is pretty fun on these cars. I do believe it's going to be a close call competition between all the drivers, because they're all close to each other, they're all packed up.
Yeah.
So let's see, qualifying it has begun. I'll clap for each driver here.
Keith, you mentioned before that you already know a couple of races from the MSS team. I believe that you already participated in some races. You actually have been to Singapore?
I've been to Singapore. I participated in the Olympic Esports Series in Singapore. It was a world final for Gran Turismo. I met a lot of high-end drivers, world-class drivers there in Singapore. Also, additionally, I met some of the guys from Singapore that are interested in Gran Turismo, and I think I remember some of the names that I met last year in Singapore.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about your experience and your visit to Singapore during the race, but can you give us a tour, or let's give a short or a brief track guide for the viewers?
We can go on board with Mu'adh al-Shishani from Desert Fox Racing.
He's from Jordan.
He's from Jordan. I think Mu'adh now finished, or he's heading to Sector 2 now. As you can see, a lot of connected corners for Fawaz, and a sequence of corners that you have to actually hit every apex as correctly as possible. Every corner is determined on the other, Fawaz.
Exactly.
So there's no margin of error here in Goodwood. Yes. So let's see, Mu'adh, he's heading to the final sector in Goodwood. He's going to have a double right-hander over here, quite hard on the brakes. Here's the first right-hander, and the second one, then the famous chicane in Goodwood. Fawaz, this is a bit tricky.
Exactly.
If you want to be as fast as possible in this chicane, it might be a little risky. But here we have Mu'adh. I believe Mu'adh with a 117 flat for Mu'adh al-Shishani.
Now towards the first corner.
This is a long right.
So you
right
have to be wide as far as
we have a new time, a new fastest time here for let's see, Zaim Basyad. Interesting, with a 116.8. Here we have Mu'adh al-Shishani on a purple sector 1. Heading over to sector 2.
I have a cheat tip. I was looking at some races, the past races on YouTube, random races, and a lot of them were giving tips and tricks for the correct braking points and for the position on the track when you want to hit the curb. And a fun fact that in the first sector, in maybe the second or the third corner, you can use the hail bale as a braking point.
I think for us that's a bit risky to use, especially in the race.
At the moment when you reach the hail bale, you can immediately press on the brakes.
Yes. So maybe I think the drivers will be referencing to this braking point in qualifying, as in terms they're going to be trying to gain their optimal lap. So they might use that as a reference for braking point, but I don't think it's going to be feasible in the race for Fawaz. He can't risk it that much every single lap. We're talking about a 13-lap race. It's not short, not long, but still, here the driver needs to be consistent. Needs to try his best to not make any mistake. So here we have another purple sector for Zaim.
Yeah, actually Zaim is doing well in the practice. Like we're almost 10 seconds away from the race. The practice or the qualifying is almost done, and we're about to. Oh, okay. Now it's the final lap.
Here's the final lap.
Zaim is in the first. We can see Muad second, Rida third.
Let's see, I think Zaim Fawaz, I'm sorry to interrupt, but he was on a purple sector, lap 1, lap 2, and here Muad has a new record. He's got closer to Zaim's time. Let's see if Zaim is gonna improve his lap time or not. I think he was slowed down a little bit. Yes, he was on a purple sector. He was on a purple 2 sectors Fawaz.
Yeah.
But I think Rayyan might have slowed him down a bit, but still. Zaim in first place, Fawaz. He maintained his position. Let's take a quick look on the results here. So we have in P1 Zaim from Singapore, Muad al-Shishani from DFR, along with Shams al-Shishani as well, Ahmed Tash. And we have an interesting grid in the back also for Fawaz. They're not so far along from each other, so this is going to be an interesting one.
The time difference between each
barely any difference if I see, yeah. So it looks like an interesting race, to be honest. Especially that Goodwood is not really forgiving. So any minor, as I said before, there's no margin for error. Any small mistake in Goodwood is going to cost you a lot. So it's going to be interesting. Okay, so I think we're ready for the race Fawaz.
Let's start the race.
I'm really excited for the beginning of the race. So
I think he's gonna give us a nice show today.
He will, but not alone Fawaz, with Muad. I think they're pretty close to each other, so excited to see how both of them will face each other. So let's see.
Okay.
Here we have the whole grid in front of us.
Standing start.
Standing start with false. And away we go.
And officially we started the Asian Challenge.
Okay, so we are looking at a very packed race for Fawaz. As I mentioned before, they're all close to each other. I think Zaim had a good launch off the grid, and yes, we're seeing a spin from an MSS car here.
Wong.
Hard luck, Wong. I think this might have been because of an incident. I'm seeing cars off track and
off track, on track. What is going on?
Wow, okay. This is as I said. Yeah, Goodwood is not forgiving. All the cars being close to each other that much, and on such a tight track, which is Goodwood, it's not the best, but let's see. We still the top 5 cars are still top 6 even.
Let's get on board with Shams to see what's going on with the top 3 between Zaim, Muad, and Shams.
Look at that, Fawaz. They're all in fighting range. Fawaz. Top 3 cars are so close to each other.
Okay, now we're on board with Shams.
Yes, and Fawaz, we have a beautiful view from here. We're seeing Muad al-Shishani pressuring Zaim here, heading into sector 2, and they're both sideways. And Ahmed Tash, he gains the advantage from Muad going sideways.
This is the hill bill.
But Fawaz, let's put aside the hill, a lot of exciting stuff were happening.
Exactly.
Muad just, I think he oversteered a little bit too much, which gave the advantage for Ahmed Tash or Shams Shishani to overtake the position from Muad, and now Ahmed, he's in the fight for P1. As I said before, Fawaz, it's an unforgiving track, so
Exactly. Especially this section.
especially this section.
Yeah.
That's true.
Most of the races I found out they prefer to use the third or the fourth gear to have the car stable and ready to accelerate.
Yes, so when we
after
talk about the
exiting
SFR, the SFR has a very, so it has a huge turbo, the SFR, so the turbo usually the peak torque of the car is like over 4,000 to 5,000 RPMs.
Yeah.
So if you're higher in the gear, going outside the corner, it's always better to gain as much traction as possible and to gain as much exit speed as possible. Here we have Muad Shishani, he dropped down to P3 and he's in the fight
Malik.
with Malik. And yes, it's a three-way fight actually for Fawaz, it's not only with Malik. Here we're seeing a fight with, sorry, we have to catch the name right.
So lately we're talking about the new top 3 that we have in the
Actually, Fawaz,
third lap.
yes, and we saw Ethan and Rayyan and Malik. They
Yes.
both, the three of them overtook Muad.
Muad now dropped to the 6th.
Muad dropped to P6.
Yeah. Now we can see Zaim, Shams and Ethan with Rayyan and Malik in the top 5. A lot of frustration going on with the 4th and 5th.
Here we have Malik. Yes, down the inside he goes. A little bit oversteer from Malik, but yes. Yes, a successful overtake from Malik here.
Yeah.
And if we go up to Ahmed Tash, Fawaz, Zaim has a 1 second advantage over Ahmed Tash. It's a good gap, especially when we're still in lap 4 and it's already 1 second, or Ahmed Tash is 1 second behind.
We also can see that Zaim is still giving us the fastest lap, even in the race. I think it's going to be a fun race today, Ghaith, especially having a multinational experience
definitely.
competing.
And as I said, it's. I think we can expect all the hard racing and all the accidents and mistakes that can happen over here.
Yeah.
I really.
As we saw in the beginning,
Yes.
beginning of the race, we saw 2 accidents.
Yes, because it's, as I said, it's a sprint race for us. So everybody's trying to be as fast as possible. Which is definitely not like the race in Interlagos in the GR3 Supra.
Yes.
I believe everyone has to be as patient as possible. It's going to be strategic. It definitely doesn't have to be like this, everybody going sideways in each corner, but this looks interesting because Ethan, he's now 0.7 seconds behind Shams.
Yeah, we can see a friendly fight, excuse me. But we can see Muad drop to the 7th.
Oh, Muad is also
He started
P7.
the race in the 2nd, and now he's in the.
I think it's either Muad has maybe an internet issue of some kind, or I'm not sure, to be honest. Dropping about 5 positions in 4 laps for Fawaz is not usual, especially for Muad. But
Yeah.
it's
Actually,
nice to see the rest of the guys here still constantly driving well. Ahmed Tash now from 0.7 to 0.3.
Let's get on board with.
Let's see. Yes, let's go on board with Ethan. Ethan might go for a move here.
As we can see, Zaim is very far away from the 2nd and 3rd.
This fight will be an advantage for Zaim Fawaz. Shams and Ethan, they're both going to be fighting for P2, which will give Zaim a breathing space for Waz.
Exactly.
So let's see. As soon as Shams will start to defend Fawaz, you'll see Zaim start to extend his gap between him and Shams. So let's see, we're heading up to the double right-handed here. Let's see if Ethan gonna put it in the inside. No, yes.
Oh.
Be patient, Ethan. Let's see on the chicane, he might be able to take the advantage on the exit speed. Yes. Ooh, a little bit over his theory here. But still, he's in range. Fawaz, he's in fighting range. There's no problem for that. So heading into turn 1. Long straight ahead for Ethan here. He might go for the move. Yes, Fawaz, he's faster. Exit speed is faster. Let's see if he goes for the inside.
Okay.
He does. Oh, 18, a little bit off track.
Oh.
Oh, whoa.
Okay.
Oh,
off track.
Off track. Oh,
Okay.
18. Yes, the track is unforgiving for Waz, as I said.
Yeah,
Of
he
course,
lost
if-
control. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, if there's any protests to be applied or to be sent to our race control team, to the stewards, they will look into each incident to see if they shall apply any penalties for Waz.
Exactly.
But until then,
Yeah. Now, right, we have Zaim and Ethan from MSS team
yes,
leading the race. And the third we have, third and fourth we have from Desert Fox Racing, Shams and Malik. And in the fifth, Rayyan. Mu'adh back to the sixth.
yes, I believe Mu'adh, he might try to regain the pace for Waz.
We can see another fight here between the Mu'adh and Rida.
Yes, we do. Both from the DFR team, and yes. So there's quite a gap that's been built between Ethan and Shams. 4-second gap for Waz. It truly is a huge gap here. I think everyone just has to stay put in his own position for now, not to make any more mistakes. As you can see, Malik is 0.3 away from Shams here. Okay.
Great.
So-
It's fun to watch and to participate also in friendly races with other countries.
Yes, that's very true.
Despite the idea that Desert Fox Racing already have multinational participants, we have from Jordan, from Morocco, Lebanon, UAE, Saudi Arabia, and other countries, from Egypt also.
Yeah.
And now, like having a team that includes different countries with another country, also with a different nationalities.
Yeah.
I think it's that's something worth talking about, and since inside the digital world, it's different than the actual world, and we.
That's what's nice about it for Waz. It's very accessible. So it is a digital world, ergo it's very accessible to everyone. So if it's accessible to everyone, then it's very easy to find similar communities of a game or a race, for example, you're interested in. For example, in the MENA Cup. So we've been racing, or I've been racing with these drivers in the MENA region for quite a long time, since 2020, and all of our races were online, and we were just chatting with each other online, racing with each other online. And it's nice to see them in person for Waz every single year in the MENA Cup. It makes a difference when you see each other in real life. Even meeting other communities when I went to Singapore also. I was very glad to see how actually big the community is. Like if you open Discord or you open any other type of social media to see a community, or Reddit for example, you're gonna see like there's 800 to 500 members, maybe 400 members, but it's different when you see them in real life.
Exactly.
Yeah, you see how huge they are, you see how interested they are, how passionate they are to sim racing. So it's very interesting.
Let's go back on track and see. We're almost 3 laps away from finishing and ending the first race of today's challenge, the Asian challenge. We can see Zaim is still in the first. Ethan,
yes,
Shams,
Zaim,
Malik,
very constant lap times here from Zaim for was 116s, 117s. Pretty interesting. This is what Goodwood wants for us. If you're consistent in Goodwood, you're going to be doing a good race.
Exactly.
And here we have Ethan as well, also good consistent times. 5 seconds away from Ahmed Tash. Malik is 0.4 away from Ahmed Tash. We have a blue flag here, I believe. Let's hope this won't be an issue.
We have a fight between Mohammed bin Saleh and Shams.
Yes, I think it was a blue flag for Waz.
Okay.
Yes, these drivers, they're back markers. Fortunately, he's off track. But here again for Waz, Malik and Ahmed Tash, they're fighting each other here. And yes, Malik gains advantage and he overtakes Ahmed Tash. As you can see, their tire wear is the tire wear is ×3 in this race for Waz, but the car itself is very tail happy.
Yeah.
So yes, it's normal to see a little bit of degradation on the rear tires, especially on left rear tire for Waz, because Goodwood it's a right-hander corner track, let's say.
Yes.
So you're always turning right in Goodwood, which puts all the load on the left rear tire.
It's about 7 turns and 3.8 kilometers.
Yes.
It's a tight one, as we already said, and now we can see a fight between Shams and Malik.
So there's a fight with Shams and Malik, and also with Muaz and Rayyan for Waz. So there's a fight in each pack, as we can see here. Even Ethan and Zaim, they're not as far, they're not far away from each other. But let's get back to Ahmed Tash and Malik for Waz. They're still close. The guys don't want to get bored. I think like they want to keep fighting to the finish.
They're trying to entertain the viewers, the audience.
It's a very fun track, actually. I'm starting to regret not participating. Yeah, the combo seems pretty nice, especially when it's a race and with all the cars around you and racing each other.
Now we're in the final lap.
The final lap for Waz, and yes, Ahmed Tash and Malik, they're still within fighting range here, 0.2 seconds apart from each other.
Yes.
Let's see if Muaz
managed to get himself into the top 5.
Yes.
I
mean, good job from Muaz. He was
in second.
It was a very significant drop down from Muaz. Not bad, from P2 to P7, then back to P5. I mean, he's trying, but I think these are the positions that we are going to be finishing the race with, except Ahmed Tash and Malik. Let's see if Ahmed is to get on board with Ahmed Fawaz. Heading into the final sector here, into the double right-hander. Let's see if Ahmed can do some cool stuff for us now. Here we go, hard braking, taking it easy. He oversteered, then he overcorrected the car. Yeah, that lost him a little bit of time, but let's see here for Waz. Zaim finished in P1, Ethan in P2, Malik in P3, Ahmad Tash P4, Muad also, yes, he crossed the finish line with P5, Rayyan in P6, Rida Hussein in P7, and we have in P8 Wong, P9 we have Naz, and 10 we have Izzo. So this was only the beginning for Fawaz. We still have race 2 to go, and I think it's going to be even more interesting than race 1. So congrats to Zaim, of course congrats to Ethan and to Malik, the top 3 finishers for race 1.
Yes.
And
Zaim actually gave us an excellent performance today.
Definitely,
in
yes.
the first race.
Without a doubt.
Now we're gonna head. We're gonna take a 5-minute breaks just to prepare the drivers and the let's prepare ourselves for the second race.
Yes.
It's gonna be on the Interlagos on the GR Supra racing concept. So we'll take a short break and we'll be back. Welcome again. Welcome back. Ghaith, we're now going to start the second race for today on Interlagos. We saw an awesome performance from the guys in the first race. Zaim finished the qualifying and the race the first. He gave us also the fastest laps for today. On the screen, Ghaith, we can see the circuit details.
The race details here for was there's going to be another 5-minute qualifying session, but this time a 30-minute race for was, and the ×6 tire degradation, as we said before. This is going to be a strategic race. Also ×4 for fuel degradation. So I'm looking forward to see the strategies. What do the guys have under their sleeve? So on the GR3 Supra, of course, 3000 cc's displacements, turbocharged engine, clocking in about 600 horsepower for was and 700 newton meters of torque. The car is tricky, especially if you're trying to tire manage the car.
It's a fast car.
It is a fast car, that's true.
The SFR, it was a fun car, but the Supra, it's a fast car. We're going to see a different performance for sure.
Yes, definitely.
I'm looking forward to see some like glimpses of what we're going to see today in the race from the qualifying. Let's see.
So I think qualifying is going to start in about 10 seconds here. So let's see what the guys will offer for was this race.
We saw an awesome experiences from the MSS team.
Yes, definitely, for sure. It's going to be quite a challenge. We're going to see now let's explain for was. So in the first race, it was, let's say, a sprint race because there wasn't any strategies. So everyone was trying to push his best in the race. So it was very determined on the pace of each driver. Now, when we talk strategies are going to play a very huge role in the race here. So it might open up a spot for drivers who are not fast but who are good at making strategies.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking for.
The qualifying.
So here's the qualifying.
Zone.
All the drivers are on their outlap. I think the first car to leave the pits is Mu'adh Shishani's GR3 Supra. Interesting livery here for Mu'adh. Let's take a look. A Desert Fox Racing, Gazoo Racing livery.
It's a mix between the new GR and the Desert Fox.
Oh yeah, well, yes, the WEC car.
Yeah,
that's true.
And the WRC.
I think this is a livery that might be done if we were eligible to do liveries for the WEC cars. It would look like this. Yeah. Interesting, very interesting, simple livery. Ahmad Tash or Shams Shishani with also another basic livery. The Mina Cup livery for the 2023 Mina Cup. The Moroccan livery, as we see here. Okay, and yes, of course, the MSS cars. They all have the same livery, also a very interesting basic livery. Okay, so Mu'adh Shishani. Let's go on board with Mu'adh, one of the first cars to start the qualifying laps. And Mu'adh, finishing sector 1 in a bit. And here we go, 23.2 for sector 1, heading into sector 2. By the way, Interlagos it's a pretty technical track. There's a lot of corners, a lot of sectors where you can gain or lose a lot of time. So
and also for the track limits, here on.
Yes, track limits might be an issue in sector 1 for was if the drivers are trying to be as fast as possible in sector 1, they're going to be really risking the track limits, which will impose a penalty on the drivers. So.
And also a couple of fast corners in this track too.
Yes.
You have to carry on with your speed in some turns.
So here we go. Mu'adh, he's heading to the finish line, exiting the final corner in Interlagos. Let's see how the times will show up for was.
Let's see.
So Mu'adh Shishani crossing the finish line, 1:30.9 and
Okay.
أحمد طاش. Oh, there. Okay, wow, 30.1 for رضا حسين فواز. Quite a, there's a spin from Ahmed Tash in turn 1. He made a little bit of shenanigans for the rest of the drivers for Fawaz.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, 0.8 seconds behind, Ahmed Tash is 0.8 seconds behind Rida. I think this lap time will not be an improvement for Rida or Ahmed Tash, as they both collided into each other at turn 1 at the beginning of this lap. But let's see. Muad is not far away from Ahmed Tash.
Ethan is
only a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
In the difference between Ahmed Tash and Muad Shishani. Ethan is 0.5 away, and here we go. Zaim is back. Zaim is back in P4, still about 1.3 seconds away from P1. As I said, for Waz, it's interesting to see the difference between the two races that we had today. Each race gives a chance for every driver to prove himself. So as we saw before, Zaim was best on the SFR. He was good at handling slower cars maybe. But in comparison to the GR3 Supra here, we have a lot of fast times from the DFR drivers, but still that doesn't mean that we're finished yet. Let's see if Zaim can improve his time. So let's head on board with Zaim. So it's the final lap. Heading into the final sequence of corners here for Waz. Very fast left-hander here with a little bit of lift-off. Personal best time here for Zaim. Let's see if he can gain P4 or P3 for Waz. Here we go, Zaim heading to the finish line. Okay, so yes, qualifying is finished. Unfortunately, he didn't have enough time to finish his lap. So here we have the results in front of us. We have Rida Hussein in P1, Muad Shishani in P2, Ahmed Tash in P3, and P4 Ethan, P5 Zaim, and P6 Ryan, and P7 we have Wong and Malik in P8, and another page. Here we have Izzo in P9 and
Mohammed bin Saleh
in P10. So there is quite the difference for Waz in the times actually here. It's not similar to SFR and Goodwood.
Of course.
There's a 0.6 gap between P1 and P2, 0.2 gap between P2 and P3, and even a larger gap between P3 and P4. So this is the qualifying results for Waz.
And in the second race, as you mentioned, right, we're gonna have a different strategies between each racer.
Yes.
It's totally different than the first race on the Supra concept racing. So let's see.
Okay. So yes, Fawaz, of course, as you mentioned, this is only the qualifying results. As I said, a lot can change during the race for Waz. As we said, it's a strategic race. So let's see what each driver is. Can he handle the consistency of Interlagos? Can he actually put up the right strategy or not? So here we are on the start line. Let's see. And away we go. Good launch from Ahmed Tash, Fawaz, and Rida Hussein to the defensive line as soon as he kicks off from the start line. Let's see, he hugs the corner, and we have an MSS car flying around the track.
Again. The first race we saw the same, and in the second race we saw the same from the MSS.
Okay, as we can see here, there's top 3 cars are still close to each other. Fawaz, I think let's see if there has been any changes in positions Fawaz since the start of the race. And
you can see Muad is in the second.
I think Muad was already in second place. Shams is still in P3, Ethan in P4. Yes, I think the guys are all in the same positions. They didn't change. But I think Rayyan and Malik was they were included in the incident that happened. We didn't see it on camera, but we saw a couple of cars going off track, and I think they were present when the incident happened. So. Still, it's a long race for us, so I might suggest that these guys don't lose hope. We're still in the beginning of the race, and if they stay on pace, if they choose the right strategy, I think they can maybe overtake and regain some positions. So Rida Hussein, 1 second gap in 1 lap for us.
Between him and
let's see the tire selection. I think yes. Rida is on racing softs, which I think he has the advantage over Muad Shishain. That's why he has a 2 second gap on Muad.
Muad is on medium.
Muad is on mediums.
Let's say Ahmed Tash is on also medium. Ethan medium. Soft. Zaim is on medium, and Mohammed bin Saleh is also on soft.
Oh, I see Izzo going a little bit off track, and I think he lost a lot of time there. But quite a gap for was from Malik and Izzo. Malik in P9 and Rayyan in P10. But luckily they are on racing mediums. They are on the slower compound.
And we're still in the second lap. So
we're still in the second lap. So I think if they just played safe until they do the pit stop, they can then choose the softer compound and maybe be faster than the rest of the drivers to be able to regain a couple of positions.
Yes.
We're seeing a fight here between the MSS drivers here. A fight between Zaim and Wong.
Yes. On the famous Brazilian racetrack.
Yes.
Actually, right. This track witnessed the F1 WEC races, and it used to hold motorcycle races in the past.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting formation.
I didn't know that before, actually.
Yeah. And today on Gran Turismo, we're seeing DFR and MSS competing on this friendly race today. If you can see the gap between Muad and Rida.
Yes, I believe Rida, he's maximizing as much as he can from his soft compound, trying to build the gap as much as possible from Muad Fawaz, because Muad will be on the racing soft when Rida is going to be on the racing mediums. So until that happens, Rida has the advantage now of building all the gap that he could build, in hope, of course, of maintaining his position when changing to the medium compound for Rida. And over here we have, I think we saw Zaim. Yes, Zaim. I believe he overtook Wong, and all the way to 1.4 seconds away from Wong. Interesting. Of course, Zaim is on the racing mediums for Waz, so if his stint on the racing mediums could be better than the other drivers, then he could have a chance of fighting for the podium. So
yes,
let's see what happens. Ethan is also on racing mediums. He's not that far away from Shams, 0.7 seconds away. And yes, Shams is also on racing medium. So
and it's also close to Muad. So
yes, so this looks interesting. We're gonna look forward for the P2, P3, and P4. I believe a lot of changes can happen there, and I believe also if Zaim can put on a perfect stint on the mediums, then hop on back to softs, he can also join the fight for Waz. So we might be looking into a 3 to 4 way fight from P2 to P5. So as you can see, Fawaz, Ethan is getting closer to Ahmed Tash, and we're going to get on board now with Ethan, heading into the fast left-hander here, and he might actually have a better exit speed than Ahmed Tash.
Let's see.
Interesting. Heading into the final corner. Build up all the exit speed you can, Ethan, and here we go. So we're hoping to see a drag race to turn 1 Fawaz here with Shams and Ethan. Let's see, Ethan is a slipstream with Shams. Can he make it up to the inside to turn 1? No, he's going to play it safe to the outside. Yes, he's choosing the right path here. Fawaz, Ethan, he's trying to play it safe. He doesn't want to degrade all the tires all the way. So I believe Ethan, he's trying to maintain his gap between him and Shams Fawaz. He's looking forward to the overcut maybe, or undercut, sorry.
Maybe, and also Zaim has still...
Zaim is 2.8 seconds away, yes. I don't think Zaim is going to be pushing anytime soon now. I think
he's also doing the same tactic as Ethan. He's trying to hold his position.
Yes, and being consistent, that's the important part.
Exactly, but we're seeing a kind of a small fight between Ahmed Tash and Muad Shishani. Rida.
Yes. Rida, of course, yeah, Rida, 6 seconds away. Rida is doing perfectly, actually, using as much as he can from the softer compound, maximizing all the grip. I think Rida is. This is the perfect race for Rida, because P2 and P3, they're pretty close to each other. They're going to be fighting each other, slowing each other down, which gives Rida all the advantage. So. Let's see. We're looking at Ethan. Ethan is still a 0.5 second gap between him and Shams. Good job, Ethan. Staying within slipstream range, not pushing the tires as much.
Let's go on board with Ethan and
Let's
have
see.
a look.
Will Ethan try to, let's say, close the gap, maybe go for a move? But I don't think so. 0.8. Yes, is a better, never mind, it's a slower exit speed than Ahmed Tash. But still, within slipstream range, good position for Ethan here. Let's see the rest of the grid Fawaz. Has there anything changed? I believe, okay, I think there's been a change between Ryan and Malik. Fawaz, I think Malik also had an incident yet again, maybe, because he's 5 seconds away from Ryan. They were, I believe they were the gap was a bit closer, or less than 6 seconds now.
Yeah.
There might have been an incident with Malik.
Ryan is trying to fight.
And Ryan, he is back in the fight over here with
Wong.
0.3 second gap from Wong Fawaz.
He's on the medium.
Sorry, not Wong, is Naz. Naz in P8, yes. Sorry, Naz in P7. Let's have a wider view over here to see what's actually going on. Naz, I think, is going for the defensive line. Ryan is struggling to exit. Ooh. A bit too wide for Naz here. Naz was trying to hold the defensive line, but he sacrificed his exit from the corner, gave all the advantage to Ryan. Ryan now in P7. Next step for Ryan is 11 seconds to Wong. Interesting. Any updates here in Ethan and Shams Fawaz?
Still the same, right?
Still the same. Perfectly executed from Ethan. Let's see the tire difference between Ahmed and Ethan Fawaz. We can see Ahmed is a bit better in tire management from Ethan. If you take a look at the front left tire for Ahmed Tash Fawaz, and then take a look at the front left tire for Ethan. Ethan's front left tire is a bit weared out more than Shams.
Yeah, especially we're like 10 minutes into the race.
Yes.
We'll have about 20 minutes. but so far we can see a quite different performance than the first race rate.
Yes, Fawaz. Definitely. As I said, I mentioned it maybe a million times now, but talking about the difference between race 1 and race 2, that was a sprint race. This is let's say, more of a strategic race. It gives up all the chances for the rest of the drivers to show up and to prove their worth. Let's say, if you're not as fast in qualifying, but you might be a smart driver in doing strategies. So that's what we're seeing here. There's a pit stop for Wong and Royan. So I believe Wong was on soft tire, softer compound, and look at the front right tire for the racing soft in Wong's car. Let's see. Oh, he from soft to soft. Interesting. Okay. Fresh new softs, or sorry, mediums. Mediums, yes. So fresh new mediums. Refueled the car. I think he's ready to go. I believe Fawaz, this might not be a one-stop strategy race. I think it might be a two-stop strategy. We still have 20 minutes ahead of us.
Let's see what's going on with Rida. See the conditions of.
Yes, as you can see, Rida was able to do actually one more lap more than Wong Fawaz, because he still might have a little bit more in the front right tire over here, but nevertheless, here we go. Rida into the pits. See Muad still has he has the life still in the racing mediums. He has a chance to.
We still have a couple of laps to.
Yeah, he might do 2 more or 3 more laps for Muad. And yes, so all the medium tire drivers are on the top 4 now. Rida Hussein refueling the car, switching to racing mediums, I believe. Yes. So racing mediums for Rida. Okay. So we have Muad now leading the race in P1.
in second, Ethan in third, Zaim fifth, and Rida in.
Oh, Fawaz, here we go. I think Ethan is a bit closer than before now to Ahmed Tash. 0.3 seconds away. His tire difference is not that much between Ethan and Ahmed Tash Fawaz. Let's have a look here on board.
Let's see if finally Ethan can overtake.
Let's see, Ethan is pretty close. I think the oversteer might have lost him a little bit of exit speed, but 0.2 seconds away for Fawaz. He's in the slipstream range. I think he might go for a move here, but Ahmed Tash might head into the pits. Yes. Interesting move here for Fawaz, Muad, and Ahmed heading into the pits, changing his medium tires. And Ethan and Zaim decided to go for one more lap on the mediums. I think this is going to be an advantage for Ahmed Tash and Muad Fawaz, because Ethan still has to do one more lap on the mediums, while Muad and Ahmed, they will be on the softs. They will gain advantage of that move, but maybe Ethan can overcut, maybe. We'll see. So, Rida Hussein, racing mediums, back to P3, or let's say provisionally P1, because Ethan and Zaim still did not pit. And here we go. We have Malik in P5 after not changing his tires, still in racing medium tires. And he came right in between Muad and Ahmed Tash Fawaz. This might be very interesting in race positions here and in terms of traffic. So
most of the DFR team took their pits now.
Yes, I think there might be some kind of a team play here.
Yeah.
Between the DFR team.
Especially Ethan and Zaim both are on mediums.
Yes, each team are doing their own strategy for Fawaz. And here we see the MSS team In P1 and P2, Ethan and Zaim heading to the pits. And of course switching from racing mediums to racing softs. And let's get back to Rida Hussein here. Rida Hussein will easily and comfortably regain P1 for the race here for Waz.
Fresh mediums.
Yes, and 8 seconds. 8 seconds ahead of Mu'adh al-Shishani for Waz. The soft stint for Rida Hussein could not have been better, to be honest. He built up the 8-second gap from Mu'adh, did what he did best, and maximized all the grip all the time from the softer compound. And Mu'adh al-Shishani now he's on racing softs. He will try his best to narrow this gap between him and Rida Fawaz. We see Malik really extending
Malik
his stint
in
on
the
mediums.
back. He dropped down the first of the
That's true.
race.
Yes, and I think now I believe he's trying to. Well, Fawaz, actually, that's what most people that drop down back in the grid. That's what they do. Preferably, they choose the harder compound, either hard or mediums, and try to extend their stint as much as they can. Go up through the positions, maybe try to be as consistent as possible, then switch back to the softer compound at the end of the race and push as hard as they can. So that might be
what would be your strategy if you were racing in this race?
Depends. Fawaz, you were seeing an overtake from Shams. So I interrupted the answer here, but here we have Shams. Yes, Shams is on the softer compound, of course. Comfortable overtake from Shams here. So Fawaz, you were saying my strategy, what would it be here in Interlagos? Preferably, I prefer to choose my strategies based on the qualifying positions. So if I qualify in top 2, either P1 or P2, I might prefer to choose a softer compound to try to build as much gap as possible. Then I would head over to the harder compound. And the opposite, if I qualify in the midfield, let's say, so P3 and under, I'd rather to choose the harder compound. Try to be as consistent as possible, not to push the tires as much, and then just jump to the softer compound and push all the way to the end of the race. So the same exact strategy that I said right now is I think Mu'adh is going to be using, and Ahmed Tash, as we saw before for Waz.
Yes.
They were on the harder compound, now they switched to the softer compound. And here the gap we saw, it was 8 seconds between Mu'adh and Rida, now it's 7 seconds. So we might say Mu'adh is being 1 second faster each lap for Waz from Rida Hussein. And here we have Ethan and Zaim, softer compounds. Yes, they have fresher tires than Ahmed Tash and Mu'adh al-Shishani for Waz. Ethan is not far away from Ahmed Tash also.
Zaim also is trying to get the position from Ethan.
But I believe they should. I believe they're working. They're working in coordination for Waz. They're trying not to battle each other as much as possible. Let's not forget they're on softer compounds. You have to be as careful as possible not to degrade the softer compound without being fast for Waz. So they should try to get as far away as possible from the fights, not to degrade all the tires. Try to be as fast as possible to catch up to Ahmed Tash and Mu'adh al-Shishani. So let's see what happens. We have Rayyan here in Racing Softs. I think 4 laps in with the Racing Softs, and they're already halfway through their lives. The softer compound lifespan. We have Wong over here, racing mediums. Malik, yes, Malik did the pit stop, switched to racing soft. So as you can see here for Waz, Malik now has the advantage of a fresh racing soft against racing mediums and racing softs that are not so fresh. So let's keep an eye on Malik to see what happens to him throughout the race. We're 20 minutes in for Waz. 10 minutes remaining for the race. Rida Hussein,
Rida is still in the first,
6 seconds away from Muad Shishani.
almost 6 seconds.
The
from
gap is
Muad.
getting closer
Exactly.
for Waz. Maybe not the best rate as possible, but it is getting closer. The gap is narrowing down more. Maybe Muad could kind of push the pace a little bit. Maybe over here we're talking about maybe 0.7 to 0.8 seconds faster than Rida each lap for Waz. I think Muad can push that rate to about 1 second each lap. Still, softer tires are in good condition.
10 minutes left, almost 9 minutes left.
9 minutes left for the race.
Second race.
Interesting. I'm willing to see if the racing softs will hold for 9 more minutes for Waz. As you can see, there's Muad and Ahmed Tash in softer compounds, Ethan and Zaim as well.
Muad is taking it easy.
Muad is taking it easy. Yes, compared to maybe
Malik.
yeah, I mean Muad is trying to maybe Muad is seeing the vision that he might be not able to push the car as much as possible, not to degrade the tires. He might push the car. He might be as faster than Rida Hussein for Waz, but as soon as he reaches Rida Hussein, there won't be enough tires to go through to the end of the race. So I think Muad is looking forward to finish the race in P2 rather than actually fighting Rida and gaining P1 from Rida. Especially that after 2 to 3 laps from this point forward, the softer compound will be slower than the medium compound for Waz, because the softer compound will not have as much grip as the medium compound,
Yes.
as the conditions of the softer tire will degrade throughout the race.
Do you think that we're going to see some moves from MSS, especially from Ethan and Zaim, since the beginning of the race? Let's say after the first 10 minutes of the race, we saw Ethan and Zaim in the same positions. Didn't see any risky moves.
Yeah, I think currently now the pace is playing all the huge role for Waz. The DFR guys at the top 3, Rida, Muad and Ahmed Tash, they all have, I think, better pace than Ethan and Zaim. As you can see for Waz, Shams, for example, clocking in 1:31 as soon as he equipped the racing soft tires. 1:31s from lap 11 to lap 15, while as you can see here, Ethan and Zaim also 1:31.1s, 1:31.1, 1:31.2, yeah.
Yes.
So it's kind of the same pace, not enough to get closer or to overtake. I think at this point they're trying to stay in position also, maybe wait for a mistake to happen from Ahmed Tash and the rest of the guys. But yeah.
Almost 5 minutes left.
5 minutes left. As you can see, the gap now between Rida and Muad, it's going to start to stay fixed now. It's not
Exactly.
you're not going to see the huge gap difference between Muad and Rida Hussein, unless of course a mistake happens from Rida. But 5.2 seconds for Waz, difference between Muad and Rida Hussein. Yeah, I think it's going to be a one pit stop race, yes, for sure.
I think we were talking about your visit to Singapore.
Yes, actually it was a very interesting visit. The purpose of going to Singapore was the Olympic Esports Series World Final on Gran Turismo. So this was the first of its kind. Of course, it's an inaugural Olympic Esports Series. Singapore hosted an Olympic Esports Series that consisted of almost 9 games for Waz. 9 games each under the discipline of esports, of course. And one of the games was Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
So I've been chosen to represent Jordan last year in the Olympic Esports Series in Singapore. And I could tell you it was the most amazing experience you could ever have done. Meeting with world-class drivers in Singapore, talking to them, even hearing their tips and hearing the way they drive, hearing the way they practice. It was all very beneficial for myself, let's say. It was part of, I remember people asking me if going to Singapore actually helped or not. Yes, it did. Most of the tips that I heard from world-class drivers in Singapore I used in the MENA Cup in October, last year in 2023. And I tried my best to use all the tips to maximize all the experience I gained from Singapore, and finished MENA Cup in P2.
And here you are commentating on MSS and the DFR friendly race.
Pretty interesting, actually. Okay, Fawaz, so
almost 3 minutes away.
3 minutes away from finishing the race. As you can see, 3.8 second gap between Rida and Muaz.
18 lap Wraith.
Yes, I believe 30 minutes of racing will give us 20 laps for Fawaz. So 2 laps to go, let's say.
We also can see the gap between Rida and Muaz.
Down. Significant drop down in the gap here for Fawaz between Ahmed and Muaz.
Yes.
As you can see, Fawaz racing soft tires are going to be an issue heading into the final, heading into the end of the race. I think Muaz and Ahmed, they're going to try their best just to finish the race. But Fawaz, I think, yes. Ooh! Oh no, Zaim off track. I was about to say Fawaz, Zaim had enough tires, or let's say the softer compound. As you can see, here's the replay.
Here's the replay, yeah.
He a little bit excited on the exit of last turn Fawaz here from Zaim. Unfortunately, hard luck Zaim. His softer compound could have enabled him to actually overtake Shams and be in P4. So I believe Ethan might have the chance to overtake Shams. As you can see here, Fawaz is 2 seconds behind. Why am I saying Ethan might overtake Shams? Because Ethan's tires are in a better condition. While on the other hand, Shams has absolutely zero front left tire here, front right. While on the other hand here, Ethan might still have a chance for Fawaz. So let's see, 1.9 seconds away from Shams. The gaps are as is, and the positions are the same, and in the end part of the grid.
Almost 30 seconds away. You can see Rida, Muaz, Ahmed Tash, Ethan, Zaim, the top 5 since the beginning of the race.
Yes. Yeah, so we didn't witness a lot of position changing in the race for Fawaz. As you can see, Fawaz, every single driver has pinpoint accuracy in their fuel tanks. So yes. Each driver makes sure that once he crosses the finish line, there's very minimal amount of fuel to be left to try to gain as much advantage as they can from the weight of the car, to try to finish the race with the most optimal way possible. So 6-second gap between Ahmed and Muad Fawaz. I think Ahmed is now struggling to keep the car on track. As you can see, there's no tires left in the car. Similar to Ethan, I think they're both okay.
Okay.
Here's the finish. Okay, so Rida Hussein in P1.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Rida. I think that's a win-win for MSS and DFR. MSS taking the win in race 1 and DFR taking the win in race 2. So congratulations, Rida. Let's have a look at the results once again.
Results, we have Rida, Muad, Ahmed Tash, Ethan, Zaim, and Wong, Malik, Rayyan, and then we have Muhammad bin Saleh and Izzo.
B10.
D10.
Interesting, Fawaz, to be honest.
We saw a different show here.
Exactly. That's what I was hoping for Fawaz. It's due to two different races. The nature of each race is pretty different than the other. One is pretty fast sprint race, the other is a strategic race, and we got what we hoped for Fawaz. Everyone got his chance to prove himself in each race, and that's what happened.
Yes.
So we have a P1 for Zaim in the first race from MSS, and then a P1 for Rida Hussein from DFR. So I think that's a win-win.
It's a quite nice opening for the friendly races in 2024 by DFR. Of course, we want to remind you to join our Discord challenge and to follow us on our social media, Desert Fox Racing. Stay tuned for the upcoming friendly races and the DFR races in general. And today it was me, Fawaz, and Ghaith. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.